the standard is 8.EE.5, graph proportional relationships, interpreting the unit rate as the slope of a graph. And our essential statement is I can find the slope and y-intercept from a graph. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what the y-intercept means or is. All right, so here we have an example with the definition. So the y-intercept is the y value, which is a point on the y-axis where the line crosses or intercepts the y-axis. Okay, so here we have a mini coordinate plane that's in purple, and we have a linear equation that's graphed in blue. And we want to know what the y-intercept is here of this blue line. So again, the y-intercept is where our line crosses the y-axis, which is right here, and here's our line, and so when we cross, it crosses right here. So what point is that? At that point is the y-intercept. Well, that point right here is 0, 2. Now, the y-intercept is an ordered pair. It's a point. It is not just a number, okay? It is a point. All right, next thing is the slope, and this is super important, okay? This is what we're going to be using for the next couple of weeks. So the slope is how steep your line is. Now, in mathematical words, it's the change in y over the change in x. This is actually a fraction, okay? This is when I was telling you, don't worry if your slope is a fraction. If you have a fraction in your equation, it's actually a good thing. Well, it's because the slope is the change in y over the change in x. Now, in symbols, this triangle right here means change. Okay, it's a delta. This triangle is a delta. It means change. So in symbols, it's written delta y over delta x. Okay, and in regular words, which we will be using in class, it's actually just the rise over the run. Why the rise? Well, the rise for the y, it goes up and down, so it's the rise, okay? For the x, it's the run because it goes left to right when you're running, okay? So the slope is rise over run, which we will be using in regular words, okay? It's really the change in y over the change in x. Okay, now, here we have a coordinate plane with a line drawn on it, okay? How do we find the slope of this line? Just by looking at it, okay? Just with a picture of a line. Well, you need to find 2 points on this line. I already identified 2 points on this line, one right here and one right here. And then we are going to go from one point to the other point by drawing a triangle, okay? Think about it this way. If you want to go to your friend's house that's down the block, you're not going to jump across people's backyards and fences. You're going to take the streets. You're going to go the long way around. This is kind of the same thing. Okay, you're going to start with your bottom point, and you're going to go and take the long way around to your other point. It creates a triangle, all right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to count the units of that triangle, okay? So from here, we are rising 1, 2, 3 units up, and we are running 1, 2 units to the right. So the slope of this line, the rise is 3, the run is 2, and it's positive because when you go up, it's positive, and when you go to the right, it's also positive. Okay, so the slope of this green line is positive 3 over 2. Now, on the left-hand side here, I put some hints, okay? Just some things to remember. It's the same when you're plotting points and things like that. When you're going up, that's a positive, okay? When you're going down, that's a negative. When you're going to the right on a coordinate plane, that's a positive. And when you're going to the left on a coordinate plane, that is negative. So we're going to go ahead and do one more example. Okay, sorry, I'm recording. So here we have a point that's 0, 4, and here we have a point 2, -2. so we're going to do the same thing with this line. We're going to make a triangle from the bottom point to the top point. And then we're going to count our units that we went up and over. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units up. And then we go 1, 2 units to the left. Now remember, because we go to the left, it's a negative number. So we rise 6 and we run -2. Now, the thing that you need to remember is that you need to simplify all of your fractions. So if you have something like 6 over -2, you are not done yet, okay? You need to finish and you need to simplify your fractions. So 6 over -2 is simplified as -3, okay? If you have something like 2 over 4, 2 over 4 would be simplified as 1/2. So keep in mind, anything you do, it has to be in simplified form. And one thing I did want to mention as well is, let's say you have -1/2. Well, -1/2 is the same thing as 1 over -2, which is the same thing if you have the negative right in between both, okay? All those three things are really the same thing. We just like to put the negative in the very front. Sorry if you heard some of that noise. I'm in my classroom and they were just cleaning my room real quick. So, and I don't want to re-record this video, so I apologize for that, but I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.